and I just come up like this, and that's the end of the rep. If you end up here, you're not doing it right because you're coming up and you're actually getting underneath the weight. Hey guys, how you doing? This is John Shoemate with another episode of liveanabolic.com. This is the place for guys over 60 years old who want to get in shape. I should know, I'm 62 years old. I can help you get into the best shape of your life. One of the things I get asked a lot are, what are some of the worst mistakes that men over 60 make when they're trying to get in shape and build muscle? Well, I've come up with 6 of what I feel are the worst mistakes that guys make over 60. I'm going to go over them with you today so you can be sure that you don't make these mistakes. Okay, so the first thing that I see, the first mistake that I see guys making over 60 is they don't get a health assessment, either an initial health assessment or health assessments ongoing. Go see your doctor, get a physical done, talk openly about any past injuries you've had, any health issues that you have, get blood work done. There's a lot of things they can look at and a lot of things they can tell as far as like your vitamin levels and especially, and this is critical, your testosterone levels. If your testosterone levels are low, you're going to have a challenging time building muscle. So you can have a one-on-one conversation with your physician if you want to take a testosterone supplement or not. And that's a personal choice. I wouldn't recommend that or not recommend it. That's between you and your doctor. But I do see guys doing that all the time where they're over 60 years old and they want to start a workout regimen and they don't go to the doctor and get a baseline assessment. So for example, someone could be developing cardiovascular issues and they don't realize it and they're going to go try and work out and potentially put their health at risk overall. Secondly, if you've had old joint injuries, if you've had an injury to your knee or to your shoulder, to your hip, anything else, you'll want to talk to the doctor about that and get their opinion on the right way for you to start your workout overall. Also, they can help you understand things about diet and nutrition. Personal trainer is going to help you with that as well too. There's a lot of things you can find online about that as well. But you'll want to talk to a doctor about your diet and they can help reinforce to you the things that you need to do in order to make your diet clean overall. So that's the number one mistake, and I really highly recommend to all you guys that if you're starting out, go see the doctor and get an assessment. And even if you've been working out on a regular basis every year, go see your doctor, get a checkup. Okay, number 2. Diet and nutrition. I cannot tell you how often I see these mistakes being made by all populations, but especially men over 60 years old. You are what you eat, or great bodies are made in the kitchen. So first of all, you have to understand what your body needs from a nutrition standpoint when you're getting into a workout regimen or when you have an ongoing workout regimen. If you're eating crap, you're not going to make gains like if you're eating a clean diet. So by that I mean there are certain things that you've got to eliminate from your diet. And the first thing, number 1 on the list, is sugar. You got to get rid of sugar, gone from your diet overall. And it's really a challenge because sugar is everywhere and it creeps into everything that you eat. So you always have to be vigilant when you're buying something, you're reading the label, you're looking at what the sugar content is going to be overall. Secondly, protein. You've got to get enough protein. The baseline kind of recommendation is that you get 1 gram of protein for each pound of body weight. So for me, I weigh in at about 163 pounds, so I need about 163 grams of protein per day. That's not exact, but that's a good baseline to go from. So a lot of great sources for protein out there. Go and learn about your diet and make sure you're getting enough. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are something that you need in your diet. That's where you get your energy from. And if you're not taking in carbohydrates, you won't have enough energy for your workouts and doing the things you need to so that you're sending signals to your body to build muscles. It's important though that you have the right type of carbohydrates. That's primarily fruits and vegetables. Again, simple sugars you don't want, pastas you want to keep to a minimum, bread you want to keep to a minimum. In fact, if you can eliminate breads altogether, you're going to be way ahead overall. So just remember that diet and nutrition. It's got to be clean if you want to make gains after 60. The third biggest mistake that I see guys over 60 making is they don't take care of their back. So it's really critical, and first of all, I'm going to address guys that are just starting out. We talked earlier about going to see the doctor and getting a health assessment. You need to make sure that you disclose to him or to a personal trainer, or be honest with yourself about any previous back injuries that you may have had. Also, you got to swallow your pride and be really honest about what kind of shape your back and your overall core is in. If it's weak, and if you're atrophied and you jump into a workout regimen, you run the risk of either hurting your back or creating an old injury overall. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do to work in incrementally to build up your core muscles. So when we talk about back health, it's actually the entire band that goes around the core. Back health is as much about your abs as anything else, because your abs are the front side of what stabilizes your back. Your obliques are important because that's what stabilizes your back from side to side, and there's a whole plethora of back muscles, lower and upper, that need to be strengthened and maintained. So think very, very seriously, especially if you're getting started, about what you need to do to slowly get your core into shape and to progress so that you protect it and you don't get a back injury. When you're over 60 years old, you're just going to be more prone to these things. Nothing will sideline you faster than a back injury. And that's one of the reasons why we work out, to keep our back strong so that we can be healthy and functional in our everyday lives. Okay, so pay attention to the back. So the fourth mistake I see guys over 60 making is posture. Posture is critical in your everyday life. When we work out, we do things to improve our posture, but posture is really, really critical while you're working out. Your body is an entire kinetic chain, and all of the muscles work together in unison, and you got to have everything in alignment overall for it to function properly. We talked previously about our back and our back strength. Good posture is one of the best ways to help protect your back overall. So a couple of really simple things about posture. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you're standing up as straight as you possibly can. So one of the things that I like to talk to people about is actually using your musculature to lift your skeletal system up and take the weight off of your skeletal system. That's taking the weight off your spine, taking the weight off all your joints, and having your muscles support your posture overall. So you're going to stand up straight. Okay, now the first thing, we always talk about the core squeeze, and that's part of your posture, and you want to practice that. And it's really simple. You're simply going to squeeze your butt cheeks together as hard as you can, and you're going to pull your navel in as hard as you can, like you're pulling it all the way into your spine. When you do that, you feel how solid you are around the core overall. Now, we want to get our shoulders up and back. One of the simplest ways to do that is simply to take your hands and open them up like this. Notice how when you do that, the shoulders automatically go back, and then you can drop your hands. It's a continuous reminder. If you're just standing around in the room and you want to work on your posture, open your hands up like this, okay? And lastly, you want to pay attention to the neck. So for neck posture, we want the chin down slightly and actually back slightly like this. So when we put it all together, we've got great posture. You want to practice this day in and day out, but most importantly, when you're doing resistance training to build muscles, you want to protect your body and get the most out of your workouts by using good posture, okay? So don't be one of those guys over 60s with bad posture. Really focus on it. You can change it. Okay, the fifth mistake I see guys over 60 making is inconsistency. And we're going to talk about that in an upcoming video when we talk about what's the right amount of time to work out, how many times should you work out during a week. But one of the worst things that you can do is have long gaps in your workout or your workout intensity overall. And yeah, I get it. Life can get in the way and you get busy. But if you're not careful, before you know it, you're going to see several days go by and you haven't got your workout in for one reason or another. What I always tell people is that you have to treat your workouts like an appointment. Like you have an appointment with your lawyer, an appointment with your dentist. You take that seriously, you wouldn't miss it. You got to prioritize your workouts, which means sometimes you have to say no to other things. So it takes discipline, but if you're going to do what you need to do, you're going to be working out anywhere between 3 days a week to 5 days a week to 6 days a week maybe. And depending on the workout that you're going to be doing, it could take an hour out of your day. You got to schedule that off. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Be consistent. Consistency is your best friend. Inconsistency is your worst enemy. Okay, so the sixth mistake that I see guys over 60 making when they work out is poor form. So especially as an example, when we're doing isolation exercises, and I'm going to do an example where we're doing a curl with the bicep. There's so many different muscle groups, so many different exercises. We don't have time to go through everything and show form, but I just want to demonstrate to show you the importance of that overall, and that you make sure when you're doing these exercises, you understand the proper form for that exercise. And you can find it online, you can find videos, you can find pictures. Practice it without the weight first and make sure you're doing the form correctly. So I'm going to show you a typical mistake that I see with the bicep curl as an example. So for example, you may see someone and all right, they kind of got bad posture and they're not, not very disciplined in what they're doing. And so like when they do the bicep curl, they'll come up and they'll curl like that and it ends up by their chin. So what are they really doing here? They're actually partially working the bicep, but they're also working the shoulder as well too. Now, like we've talked about before, you want to start with your posture, do your core squeeze, have great posture. Now watch the mechanics of my arm and the way I isolate the bicep muscle. I keep my elbow from moving, I keep my upper arm, my humerus from moving as well too. And I just come up like this, and that's the end of the rep. If you end up here, you're not doing it right because you're coming up and you're actually getting underneath the weight to try and cheat to make the muscle, help the muscle get through the rep. So discipline, proper form, practice it, perfect it. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are the 6 things that I most commonly see guys over 60 do as far as making mistakes in trying to gain muscle. So work on all those things, perfect it. Get better at your craft all the time. Your body will respond to it. So if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons. And guys, remember, obstacles are what you see when you lose sight of your goals. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.